Hello everyone, this is Adrian and I have some updates for you. I know. We owe you some updates. I know. I've been busy. I've just been busy. That's out of the way now. So, new year, new month, new release. Today we're releasing Avo 328 and I thought it would be a nice occasion to actually get back on track and talk about what we released and what we're working on. Yep, let's talk a little bit about the release and then what's coming new with Avo 4. So in 328, we did some maintenance, cleaned up some STI obsolete code. Thank you, Bruno, for going deep into this. Cleaned up a few bug fixes, nothing really standing out. Ransack passes now has the auth object, so you can check that out and add hidden description to boolean check component. So thank you for this contribution, Tim. This is more for accessibility. It's a lot more for accessibility. We'll talk a little bit about that. We have a new stars field. Thank you so much, Zephin, for your contribution, and add indeterminate state for boolean fields. Thank you, Ryan, for this. So before boolean fields would be like green or red, or show like a plain dash, like this dash if it was nil, and now it'll show this pretty thing. So thank you, Ryan, for that. So now that we have the release out of the way, let's talk a little bit about Avo 4. And before that, actually, let's talk about what happened in 2025, because it's kind of like it's not a wrapped. 2025 was the year of the wrapped. Every service had the wrapped thing section, but this is kind of a year in review. And I want to talk a little bit about some of the things that we did and where we were present and what we shipped. Events are something that are very dear to us. We hosted Friendly RB, our own Ruby conference in Bucharest, and we've been to a few others, kind of like Balkan Ruby. We also sponsored, I think, the drink sponsor. We went to MicroConf US. I had a talk there. RailsConf 25 in Philadelphia, Rails World, Friendly RB, and Uruko in the fall. Then SF Ruby, we had a booth there. SF Ruby was a very nice experience. It was going back in startup land where everything kind of started, where Rails started to pick up. It was different from any other conference that I've been. And there was also Tiny RubyConf. We didn't manage to get there because it was at the same time with SF Ruby, but we did sponsor there. And one of the things that we released this year was the Ruby Passport. So if you go to the Ruby Passport, you will see this temporary ugly Notion website, which talks a little bit more about the Ruby Passport. And this is a small status update and how to claim, how to use it inside rubyevents.org, how to claim it there. It becomes kind of this in-person thing for your Ruby profile. And if you're an organizer, go check out the organizer's guide and your samples. You can find some if you want to make your own. So if you went to Rails World, Friendly RB, Uruko, SF Ruby, Rocky Mountain Ruby, and a couple of other meetups in the US and Europe, you should have your Ruby Passport filled with stamps. So yeah, it's a really, really cool initiative. So we did that in 2025. We did sponsor some open source. If you want to check more of that, you can see here. We did publish a few open source and maintain a few open source packages and gems. And we actually shipped a lot of things for Avo. We had 12 big releases with 42 little ones. Many, like we have a few features here that I'm going to highlight, and many other bug fixes, developer experience, improvements, and other chores and maintenance things that we improved with Avo. But some of the highlights for 2025 are array resource adapter. Where is it? Did I close it? Yep, probably array resources, which gives you the power to have Avo resources which are not powered only by active record models and records, but from a plain array, which you can get from anywhere. So it really, levels up kind of this what you can do with it. discrete information, which are these little things. So there are a couple of things which maybe are not so important that you want to have in your main field definition, but you want to have them here. So for example, created and updated that, and the badge, and like maybe a link to something, maybe to the outside page of this record, and you don't want like a button here. So it gives you a little bit more, control, and these will become even better and more powerful in Avo 4. Another thing we launched was nested in forms. So if you have a has many, when you create the parent, association, a parent record, you can add the has many's right there, right then and there. So I think we have courses, yes, and course links. Let me see if this is correct. So if I create a new course, you can add new links in the page, and whenever you hit save, these will be created and attached to the main parent. We have automatic field discovery, which was a contribution from Obi-Wan Kewani. Thank you so much for that. It's a really cool way. Instead of like declaring all of the fields, you can tell it, okay, discover all the columns, discover the associations, and then you can tell it something like, just only these columns or only these associations or accept this one. So it's really, really cool feature. Then we released the media library, which is a really cool way of browsing all of your active storage attachments in a cool, neat little way. And this is used in the Markdown editor, in Rhino editor, inside of. So, for example, if you have 5 posts which require the same attachment, usually you'd have to attach it to each one, so you'd incur extra charges, and you have to remember what those attachments are. But now you can select them from the media library and check them inside your content. The Kanban boards, which are a GitHub style projects kind of boards, where in GitHub on projects you have multiple types of records. So you have those simple to-do items, and then you can have issues, and you can have PRs, and then it's the same with our Kanban boards as well. So you can have multiple things stacked in there. And we also released Marksmith, which is a GitHub style markdown editor. So it has all the cool features, like from like the bar, and whenever you paste something as markdown, and it supports active storage and the media library and everything like that. So if you want to use this, it's MIT license, so it works in every Rails app. And a couple of other cool little things that we are supporting. So these are the big things from 2025. So we supported the community. We love supporting the community. We love going like to all of these events and trying to make them better, and through open source and sponsorships and all of that. And what some new things are coming to in 2026 for Avo as well. So one of the big things is the new UI, which is, I think I have one here. Yes. Actually, let me jump into Figma and show you a little bit. Dark mode, of course, I spoiled it, but it's okay. So the new UI looks a little bit like this. It's not quite ShadCN, because I don't really like that, because they all look the same but not quite the same, and they behave a little bit differently. So we're taking a different direction. We're using this stacked and depth kind of aware design. So you'll see the background here is the gray thing, and then the main content area just stacks on top of it, and if you scroll up, this will go on top of the search bar. And then we have these new cards, which are again, they give you this depth from the shadows and everything in the borders. They give you this depth of like, okay, this is more information that is sitting here, so you know how to find it really, really cool, really quick. So this is the new design language, which is coming to Avo 4, and we have like the forms are redone, the buttons are redone, the whole aesthetics, and like the margins and spacing, everything is laid down nicely for you. And this is like a full width layout, and of course everything is thought in design tokens, Figma design tokens, and which translates in development into CSS variables, and everything becomes very themable. So we'll have dark mode rather soon, I'd say. So, we still have some artifacts to figure out, but these CSS variables, these design tokens, these CSS variables which are translated into CSS variables, it's going to make it very easy for us to actually create dark mode or multiple dark modes or highly accessible themes. Accessibility, it's another thing that we are focusing on a lot in Avo 4. We want to have Avo be WCAG 2.2 accessible by default. And this will be required by the EU in, I think, government apps. I think it's required in the US. So definitely accessibility is the thing on is one thing on our minds now. Yeah, so this is the new design. We do have an Avo 4.avo demo kind of website up, but it's you can see it's like a super buggy. It has this thing which I not even vibe coded. I just threw around like super quickly. But you will be able to see, kind of feel a little bit how it's going to look. And as soon as we are going to release it or release more of it, we're going to post it here. So you can check out the the path of how we improve everything. But again, like you can see, this says users, and user, it's definitely broken. So yeah, dark mode accessibility. Another thing that we are preparing is HTTP resource adapter. So we had that, I showed you the array resources where you can have, and there's a video here if you want to check it out, where you define records from an array. Well, you'll be able to define records and browse them through an HTTP through an HTTP API. So, for example, this resource, the authors, comes from probably this one, maybe authors, entities. Yeah, perfect. So it actually feeds off of this API, this JSON API, if it would only load. So we have like this is the payload with results, and we have ID, display name Lars Carl, and this is the first one, Lars Carl. So actually, again, these are not backed by the database. This is not active record, but it's coming from that API. Whenever I click it, I see the record, and ideally you will be able to edit it as well. And that would work through like put and post requests and delete and everything else. So this, and again, sorting and other things, these are supported, and you'll be able to configure a lot of things. So not all APIs come with these results kind of payload. They come in data, or like they just are in the main results. So you'll be able to pick and choose from that and do a lot of like cool stuff, and then configure the fields through regular Avos, regular DSL, and so on. So yeah, this is a really cool thing that's coming, and it's going to improve a lot of like new it's going to enable you to use it in new use cases. Automatic JSON API from resources. So this will enable you to create automatic endpoints, JSON endpoints from your already configured resources. With your query and your fields and everything, you'll be able to go to somewhere like maybe Avo API. I'm not really ready with this, and do HTTP resources. I don't know. So it's not this one. It's a different one. But then you'll have like this JSON style endpoint for your resources out of the box. So it's all configured. And again, you'll be able to do some more configurations there and choose what to put in place and in there as well. Then collaboration. This is another collaboration is another dear feature to me, to us actually. We've had customers who are telling us things like, hey, I view all my data inside Avo, but then we move to Slack to talk about it, and then maybe we open a thread for each record, and then we chat there about it, and it's getting tedious to actually do the switch every time and figure out where the conversation was left and so on. So what we're bringing on is this collaboration feature, which started out as this chat, like, hey, you, and then you can send it. And then slowly we kind of figure out, okay, well, Slack and other tools for collaboration, for chatting and texting, They offer more. So for example, here I have this new special kind of entry. This is a text, and this would be a special entry when we change the country. And then again, if I go in and if I change the country to Thailand and Chiang Mai, if I hit save, then it records that kind of change, which, and it's a custom kind of thing. And you'll be able to, right now this doesn't look very good because it's not, very polished at the moment, but it'll give you like this timeline of what really happened inside your with your record, right? So you won't need to do the switch every time. You'll be able to come here on one record and have like a glance of the whole activity and say, okay, now I know what happened. Okay, Adrian said this and Julie said that and Michael said this, and this is why they changed it to Thailand, whatever. So again, this is going to be really, really cool, and you'll be able to like hook into it with many other things. So it's becoming like its own kind of separate, very powerful feature. Improved search. This is a really cool one. So better global search. You'll be able to go in, and as you can see, we have this drop down here now. It's not going to have this modal which uses this JavaScript thing. It's all hotwire driven with turbo frames, and it's much more customizable. It's really, really cool. And then again, it's doing like its own searches, and like it has, you see the configurations, and you can use custom partials for each one. So it's really, really cool. So it's improved in the sense of like we're not using JavaScript anymore. It's much more customizable. Next, we're introducing this global search page where, so for example, if you go and say AD and hit enter, or like show all research results, you're going to go to this page, which is unstyled. Forget it. It's going to be really, really good. It's going to show you all of the records it found, but if I go only A, it's going to show more of them, and like go to, these would be like special things which you can inject inside the search, and we'll be able to do other things like infinite scroll, or say, or like a pagination here, or like chunk them up into blocks. We'll be able to do so many things, but you're not going to be like what I was happening. I was afraid of like, I searched something, but then I clicked outside and now it disappeared, and now it'll have to search again. And this way you'll be able to like view this kind of search the search results in a different page, and you'll be able to programmatically send this search result page to somebody. So so separate global search page and inline resource. So if I go inside a resource, let's actually go to users, and actually let's go to courses, because that was good. If I say now we're gonna actually let's do game. Now we're gonna search inline. This is something that I know we wanted to have for a long, long time. Now we do. So whenever you search, everything is being searched inline, so you don't get like this separate modal with things where you click and you have to like duplicate the data. Everything is inline. So this is really, really cool. The forms and form builder. So another piece of feedback was that our customers have some entries which are not necessarily like active record entries. So it's not users, inventories, documents or stuff. It's like, hey, I want to have a configurable place to change the title on my home page. So how can I do that? I want to use the DSL, but I can't. So we created this form builder, which for a long time I called it the settings page, where you can create these settings page. So for example, here you have like the name demo 444. For example, if I hit save, now we'll have demo 444. So you see, this one went into the database, and then on the page reload, this reflected this and that. So for things like this, and this is a lot. The DSL is a lot like the Actions DSL, where we have you have the fields DSL, where you can configure the fields, and then you have the handle method, where you get the payload of all of the data and all of the context, like the current user, the current account, everything the page you are on and everything, and you do something with that data. You write it to the database, you write it to Redis, you write it on a file, you send it on an API. The sky is the limit. You can do a lot. And the DSL is very, very customizable. So for example, here we have one page with two forms. So you see two save buttons. You can have that, or one page with two cards but it's the same form. It's one save button. So you can add a title here in the description, or the title. Like, it's very, very customizable and can do a lot of things. So yes, it's very, very cool. And you can even stack things. I think we have them here. So it's really, really cool. Again, it's super broken here, but the bones are there. And it supports all kinds of different different options. And I think this, I don't want to, maybe I shouldn't change this because I don't know if it breaks something else. So yeah, this is a really, really cool one. Keyboard shortcuts, they're coming. I use keyboard shortcuts everywhere. I want them, so they're gonna be here. And reactive fields, this is something that we kind of supported through Stimulus.js and like custom things. And if you're like a seasoned Avo developer, you know about this demo where you change the country and then the cities change from that country. So if you go to Japan, you get Tokyo, Osaka, you get cities from Japan. If you change to Thailand, you get. So we had this demo on on our main app for a while, but it was done, and we have a guide for it on the docs. But it was done through custom Stimulus.js components and controllers. But now this is being done through the DSL. So you say something to the city field, you say something like react to country, and whenever this is changed, you'll get back the payload of like the value that it was picked, and then you can change the value. You can make it read only or disabled, or you can hide it or show it. So you'll be able to create these more dynamic forms way easier. So yeah, this is really cool. I know everybody's expecting that. It's it's gonna help you a lot. Like, it's gonna help us to build these experiences much better. Yeah, and these are some of the things that are coming in 2026. We have other things like permissions and notifications and some other things that I don't really want to get into right now, like inline things, but because I don't want to, overcommit. But these are going to come in 2026, and probably, hopefully, in the first half of the year. We're going to talk about the rollout in just a second. We're going to have probably a few pricing changes. So again, like pricing is very difficult. It's super difficult to actually figure out how to give the most amount of value and get the most amount of value in the same time. So what we do have right now is we have a free tier which has a lot of the powerful features. Then if you need a little bit more, you have the pro, and then if you need a little bit more, you have advanced. But the pro has like dashboards, which it's not really crud. The advanced has some things which are crud, but some that are not. And what we're going to do probably, so again, it's don't quote me on this. This is still work in progress. We still don't know how it's going to look. We're still going to have one free tier. We're going to have one subscription for like the basic thing, because if we don't have a subscription, we don't have a business. So none of this is going to happen. So we're going to have one subscription which is going to give you more advanced CRUD features. So probably custom controls, this is going to come into pro, and resource scopes is going to come into pro. But dashboards, this is not really CRUD. So it's going to get out of pro. So the pro is going to be like the best CRUD you can have. And then advanced, probably going to go away, and we're going to have separate products, mini products. So we're going to have dashboards as a product, dynamic filters as a product, maybe nested, I don't know, maybe JSON, maybe HTTP resource like that. Maybe that's going to be different, or like JSON API. That collaboration is definitely going to be a different feature. And to these features, you'll have they'll have their own payment or subscription. We'll figure out how how all of that goes. So some of them will have like a one-time payment, or both, or subscriptions. We'll figure those things out. And then maybe we'll have, so you can go in and pick like, okay, I'm going to have the community and the pro, and then I'll go and pick and choose. I don't need dashboards, but I need dynamic filters, and maybe I need Kanban, and I'll pick those and pay just for those, right? But then we're going to have a new, probably, I'm thinking about a bundle kind of subscription where, okay, do you need everything? Like, dynamic filters, Kanban, dashboards, I don't know, nested records, everything. Like, do you need all of those? Okay, those would be you can pay like one bundle and you get everything inside. So instead of mucking around with picking all of them and subscribing to 5 subscriptions at once or something like that. So we're thinking about something like that. It's still a work in progress. We want to make it as affordable and as valuable for everyone. There will be an upgrade path for just going into your account and say, hey, I want to upgrade this license, this subscription to Ava 4. So we'll figure that out. And collaboration will probably have separate pricing, maybe per seat. We'll figure that out as well. Yeah, so that's on the pricing side. How are we gonna roll this out? So these are the dates right now. February 27th, closed beta with a few close customers. We just want to make sure that the obvious edge cases, corner cases are getting fixed with those customers who can push it to production. March 31st, open beta where you can let more people in, and then they'll be able to test it out. And then April 30th, general availability. So June 1st, probably having the final release. This is like fingers crossed, this is what we're working on. How we're going to roll it out: UI4 first. So on February, end of February, where the customers who are going to onboard are probably going to onboard into the UI4 kind of version first. We want to make sure that the new UI looks good, works okay. All of the paid features, paid gems work nicely and they look nicely, and there are no those edge cases, those nasty edge cases. They're not there. And then we're going to release the other products. The other products, meaning HTTP resource adapter, automatic JSON API, collaboration, improved search. Slowly, like improved search, this is going to be out in the UI4. So that's going to be there. Keyboard shortcuts, probably that's going to be released in the first one. But forms, we're going to wait a little bit. HTTP resource. So we're just going to take them one at a time. Breaking changes, I know this is on your mind. We aim on having very few. So it's not going to be like from 2 to 3 where you have to move everything, all the fields inside. No. We're going to have, like, if you think about all of the API that, Avo offers, I don't know if it's a number, like it's a 20 API, 200 things, 2000 things, like 90 to 95%, it's going to stay the same. We're going to polish some of those, APIs that we did in a hurry, or those APIs where we learned something. So for example, HTML attributes. This is weird. Like it's a hash that has first the view and then the element and then the thing, and like we can make this better. So this is going to be improved. Discrete information, that's going to be improved because again it was a hash and a hash and a hash. The grid, I think, let's see, where is it? The grid badge. We have badge label, badge color, badge type. This is bad. It's not how it should be. So it should be a little bit different. So again, we're going to improve some of these APIs which were maybe a little bit neglected, or we learned a few things from. But most of it is going to be, it's okay to do a bundle update. I know everybody's asking like, oh, if I'm starting a new project now, should I start on Avo 3? Should I wait for you guys? Can you give me early access to the Avo 4? Just start on Avo 3. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Like Avo 3 is very stable. It works nice. It doesn't have like visual artifacts or everything. Version 4, a lot of visual artifacts. You can see it here, like everywhere. Like this breadcrumb shows users every time. You don't want that. You want like this one. Shut up. So maybe in the open beta phase, yeah, you can try it out, but you'll have a pretty smooth way of transitioning from one side to another, from one version to another. So don't worry, it's not going to be good. You can start on Avo 3. The world is not going to. And that's about all, right? Everything. Oh my God. Yes. This is dbconfig. This is a new gem. I'll share it with you guys soon. Something that we're going to launch. That's helping with this thing. And again, you'll be able to use the forms in tools. The forms are so really, really cool. We really love them so much. So yeah, this is what's coming to Avo 4 in terms of everything. And if you're interested of like joining the open, the closed beta, write to us on like the channel. We'll have somewhere, we probably in Discord we'll open a new Avo 4 channel. So request it there. If you have any other questions regarding everything I said so far, definitely ask them there. We want to answer them. And yeah, let's keep this going. I missed giving these updates. But yeah, so I hope that this new 2026 year is going to be the best for you yet. I think it's going to be the best for Avo yet, and I'll see you in a conference, in an event very very soon, and I'll see you online even sooner. So yeah, thanks for staying with me, and be cool. See ya.